Every year, we generate over 400 million tons of hazardous waste, which, according to the EPA, is any waste that poses a serious risk to human health or the environment due to its toxicity, flammability, reactivity, and corrosiveness. So, how do we deal with this dangerous stuff? First, identification and labeling. Determine if the waste exhibits characteristics such as ignitability, corrosivity, reactivity, or toxicity. Once hazardous wastes are identified, they must be carefully segregated, labeled, and stored in approved containers. Each label includes detailed information on what's inside and the risks. Next is collection and transportation. Identified and properly labeled hazardous wastes are then gathered from households, factories, labs, and hospitals. From there, specialized trucks transport it under strict regulations because one wrong move could cause a major spill or a disastrous accident. Once hazardous waste arrives at a licensed treatment or disposal facility, the real work begins. First, the waste is weighed and documented. Every barrel, drum, or container is tracked. From here, the waste is sorted based on its chemical properties and risk level. Not all hazardous waste is treated the same. For example, incineration is often used for medical waste or organic chemicals, while bioremediation is used to turn pollutants into harmless byproducts. Once treated, waste that cannot be reused is sent to specialized landfills known as secure hazardous waste landfills. In some cases, recovered materials like certain metals can be recycled and reintegrated into the manufacturing cycle, part of the growing field of circular hazardous waste management. But there are still instances where mishaps in handling hazardous waste can happen, like the Canal case. This was one of America's worst environmental disasters back in the 70s, when a chemical company dumped over 20,000 tons of industrial waste into an abandoned canal. They covered it up and sold the land. Over time, black sludge seeped into basements. Children played in contaminated soil. And then came the miscarriages, cancers, and birth defects. It was only in 1978, when a federal emergency was declared, the first ever for a man-made environmental disaster. It forced evacuations and launched massive cleanup efforts. Up until this very day, it's a stark reminder that when hazardous waste is mishandled, the damage can last generations. Now, when it comes to hazardous waste, the wrong assumptions can lead to hefty fines or worse, permanent shutdowns. Let's separate what's real from what's risky. Myth number 1. If it's just a small amount, it's not hazardous waste. The fact is, even a quart of solvent can be regulated if it's ignitable, toxic, or improperly stored. Quantity doesn't erase risk. The second one is, if it's in a closed container, it's fine to keep it anywhere. But the truth is, hazardous waste must be stored in designated areas with secondary containment. Even sealed drums must meet strict regulations. Lastly, aerosol cans aren't hazardous once they're empty. The fact is, if there's pressure or flammable residue, it's still classified as hazardous. Puncture or heated, and you've got a bomb. Understanding what hazardous wastes are and how they are being treated and disposed of is the first step toward protecting our environment and health. From industries to households, proper handling and informed choices can reduce the dangers these materials pose. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with others, and subscribe for more content like this one.